Welcome to another episode of the Utility Players Podcast, episode 13. We'll start off by wishing Gravy Montana a happy birthday. His birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, boy.
Appreciate it.
Number 28. How was it, man?
It's good, bro. Worked. Got some margaritas. Got some fajitas. And then
I was drunk.
painted.
He was
stumbling out of
I was drunk.
This guy was stumbling out of the restaurant.
I was like talking and I wasn't making sense. I was like, I need to get to the car because
That's how you know it's a good
this is
birthday.
embarrassing. Yeah.
Attaboy.
Shout out
Love
to Nate for the shot of Terramanas, I think is how you pronounce it.
Yeah, the Rock tequila.
Yeah. No chaser.
Ooh, yeah, like a man.
How you do it?
You should tell the people what I asked you last night. You know, what would your 23-year-old self say to your? No, what would your 28-year-old self say to your 23-year-old self? Damn, I'm fucked up. I don't know.
My answer was I would say stretch.
Stretch. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
For any activity, not even.
Your
It's a
boy
good one.
is smoked right now.
Yeah.
Gotta stretch before you drink.
I need to stretch before I do housework.
Bro.
Exactly. As soon as you hit 30, as soon as you hit 30 and above, you're like, oh, things get tighter faster.
Yikes.
In many ways.
All the time, bro.
Yeah.
I looked at Ben. We were in the outfield on Monday. I looked at Ben. I was like, dude, I'm ready to die. I was like, I can't move.
Let me
Next
tell the story.
play. Next play. Go ahead, Ben.
Let me tell the story. It's the last game. He looks at me. It's, I don't know, 10 o'clock at night because we had late games. And he was going hard. And then he looks at me and he's like, my body is dead. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And then the next hit, I think the next pitch, someone hits one right in the gap. He's running full gravy speed. I mean, it was like, lightning fast. And then he kind of like dive catches it, rolls, gets up. And I'm like, I thought the body was dead. I've never seen you move faster.
Right, he rises up like the Undertaker.
I got that quick first step. I don't know what to say.
Gravy be moving.
Awesome.
You don't really expect it, but that boy be moving.
I'm the
Those
most
quick
athletic
feet,
fat
right?
person you
Hey,
guys
I
know.
gotta-
Flintstone feet.
I got to admit that too. When I met him and I'm like, no disrespect, but I have a friend. I have friends that, are,
No
you look at them, you're like, there's no speed there. I mean, it's the same thing. It's
Right.
not disrespectful. You look at some people and you're like,
Prejudging.
there's no speed there. And you look at others and you're like, that guy's got to be fast as hell. And then you watch him run. You're like, does he know how to run? Did anybody teach him how to run? But then I remember when I first saw him run, I was like, dang, those feet move quick. He's got,
First to third every time, baby.
yeah.
Let's jump into some UFC recap of 261. Fort was in the building. Let's just talk about your experience. Kind of packed house. That was the buzz of the weekend. Everybody looked like they had fun.
And yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. I mean, my brother came up, my boy Berto came up, my cousin came up, my other buddy Mike came down. He lives in Georgia. And bro, I'll tell you, it was the crowd. Not only was it a packed house, but the crowd was super engaged. And I mean, I couldn't have asked for a better card. Like with everything that happened, the injuries, the knockouts. I mean, like I said, the crowd was into it, and that was
Not one fight went two rounds, right? Of the main card.
Yeah, Valentina. Well, the main event went second round, but it was over in a minute.
Yeah,
And then the Valentina fight went 2 rounds, I believe. But everything else was quick knockouts or like injuries.
What was the energy in the building like? I mean, obviously it had to be crazy, but did it feel like pre-COVID times? Or did it still kinda
Absolutely.
feel
I
weird?
mean,
that's awesome.
Jacksonville is like kind of ratchet and shit. So like,
trust me. I know.
It
My previous job, I had spent a lot of time there.
there was a lot of explicits, a lot of shit that like I wouldn't say on here. Especially like when Rose was fighting.
Oh boy,
Whaley. that was fun.
I love her.
I mean, it was just one of the better events. UFC fans like are into it, and I mean, Bruce Buffer on TV is one thing, but when you see him in
Live?
person, like because they don't put him on when the fighters are coming out and shit, but like he is just as hype as a fighter. He's like jumping up and down in the ring, like shaking his legs, stretching, like vibing, like huge fan.
I went on his Instagram recently for that reason, just to get jacked up. And he has posts of him doing it, and he's in their face.
Yeah.
He's like pointing at them. He's all body.
Yeah,
I love it.
there's no
He's
one
a-
better.
Oh no, no one better. Legend, professional. I mean, just Bruce Buffer, man.
Family of voices.
Wait. I just realized what your background
Oh, you didn't realize that before we started?
is.
That's funny. I thought you were in the group already.
Bro, my man's
Oh
got
my
slept,
God.
Dog. He got
Well, that-
slept.
That's a
He
great
was,
segue.
he was talking all that shit. Usman don't hit hard. All right, bro.
For the people that are listening, not watching us on YouTube, Ford's background is Masvidal, eyes open, but nobody's home on the canvas after that knockout.
Yeah, that was
The energy
was
for that,
epic.
how was that? Like from impact, did it
I
buzz
mean,
for
like-
5,
like-
10 minutes later?
Yeah, 90% of the crowd, I would say, was probably rooting for Masvidal being Florida.
In
A
Florida?
lot of people drove up, but I mean, when that boy got dropped, I started walking out. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Bro.
yeah,
Ben pointed out when we were watching. He's like, everyone's gotten up and left
Yeah.
already.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, traffic.
Usman definitely earned my respect. I'm not betting
sure.
against him anymore. I mean, he beat Masvidal the first time. Granted, he was on 6 days, but I mean, we saw what happened, and then he knocked out Gilbert Burns last fight. So yeah, I'm not betting against Usman no more.
Jorge had to
Who's your
drop
fight?
20 pounds in 6 days last time too. So
Mhm.
that's tough in itself. Fly across the world to Abu Dhabi and go
Can't
through all
imagine.
their COVID protocols in the beginning. So, I mean,
Who do each
Hey,
of them fight next?
Usman, I mean the
Covington.
yeah, it should be Kobe. That's what they're talking about. Masvidal should just fight I don't know, whoever he's
Usman
gonna
rocks him.
train as
Without a doubt, Usman
Can't stand that guy.
destroys. Either can I. I can't. I don't even want to get into that.
No, me neither. But
I would love to fight him. To be honest with you.
Hey, Kobe's
know.
good though. Kobe's good.
I know he's good. He beat the shit out of me, but still, I was just to say that
it's fine.
you know.
He won't beat you 1-on-1 on the basketball court. So
Why you?
Doug Rose
Hey.
is next up. Doug Rose
Yes.
is the real deal. Is the
Doug
real
Rose, what a nickname! What
I
a
love
look!
it.
What a look as far as the shaven head, pretty face,
So
and
badass.
just badass. And like she seemed her demeanor's quiet, and her name is Doug Rose. Like whoever came up with that, or I don't know, is there a story behind that nickname?
I haven't heard the story. I don't
Okay, because I need to. 'cause-
I think in the post interview, she kind of alluded to the story a bit,
Okay,
but
I
she didn't tell
gotta
the whole
look at it.
thing. But yeah, I'd be interested to know.
Yeah, just because
You
it
know, that came
flowed
from-
like Doug Rose, like the way she
I think
looked.
she said-
it's
I think she said something like, "If you don't know, they call me Thug Rose." Is like something. I think when she grew up, like
Gotcha.
her crew when she grew up, I think maybe gave her that nickname. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the whole story, but I think that's kind of how she alluded to it. But
Yeah.
it's a dope nickname.
that was a
And
great
I gotta-
knockout.
Yeah, I
Oh,
just loved
man.
how she was saying to herself, "I'm the best. I'm the best." The
Yes.
whole time.
Best, I'm the
Like,
Yes.
there was only one
know.
thing better than that knockout.
what's
What?
that?
Joe Rogan's reaction.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Bro, I was watching
shit
that
was
over
hilarious.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dog, he
I
was
saved
watching it like all of us were.
He
I
needs
saved it
to
in
have her
my
on the pod.
pictures. Yeah. Shout out Dana White. You know, I love Dana White. I love how he doesn't cave to anything. He sticks to what he believes in and his morals. He doesn't feed into any bullshit. And he just
Yep.
is like, if you look at everything the UFC's done, especially during this past year, they really are some of probably the leaders in terms of sports. They put on that
Yes.
event, I think, which everybody was looking forward to. It was a great event. Fort was there. Obviously the energy looked incredible. And so,
Mhm.
and then I absolutely love, if you haven't watched his post interview, that when people kind of gave him shit saying that he hosted an event that could be some super spreader bullshit, and he just went off. He
I
went
gotta watch the
off.
full one of that. I only seen a
Yeah.
clip, but he
Yeah.
knows how to
Yeah.
promote his business, man. Love it.
It was
Mhm.
it was kind of crazy. Like they had us take a picture of our ID. They asked us normal COVID stuff. Have we felt any symptoms within the last whatever days? Have we been around someone?
And that's
That
as
has-
you check in.
Yeah, as
walk
you
into the building?
before you could even get in.
Wow.
And then they
The
had
new metal-
this
the new
thing where
metal
take a
detectors.
picture of your face, and then they scan your face in some other kind of AI type of shit or whatever.
How long did it take to get in if there's that many people doing all that process?
So I got there a little bit later. I got there after like the prelims. I'd say probably like 8:30. So there wasn't really a line, but
okay.
I mean, as soon as I got past that shit, like I had my little Supreme bag with like a power bank and shit to charge my phone, and like they didn't even check that. And then like
Florida.
the lady didn't even get my ticket. She was talking to someone else, and I just walked right in.
Yeah.
Damn.
All right.
This is why people are flocking and love Florida, because Florida gives you Florida reminds you of the times when we grew up when things were more they're free. You didn't have to get body cavity searched to walk into a Walmart or something.
Yeah, it's definitely it feels like a blast in the past, and also where like you're on another planet as well. It kind of feels like both are happening at the same time.
It's that fuck it state.
The only thing that's weird about Florida, I used to have to spend a lot of time there, my previous job, but Florida, you have all I call like the ocean cities, right? And then you drive through the middle of Florida.
And it's Iowa.
Yeah.
There's in the swamp areas, in the swamp towns. And you're like, what the fuck? Am I in the same state?
There's two Floridas, South Florida and the rest of it.
The rest of it, yeah.
And I've seen it. Anytime I drive north, you only got to go 2 hours and you're in a different state or in a different world. Let's stay on track.
Before we move on, shout out Valentina Shevchenko. Her and Amanda Nunes needs to happen. I don't care.
Yeah.
She's got to go up or Nunes got to go down. Like we need that fight. Like that will be one of the best fights you'll ever see.
I think they fought already.
I think
they fought. I think twice.
Okay.
Did they?
And I think when that happens, and it should happen, it should be the main fight of the card.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, let's do a women's. Yeah,
because
I like that.
They're both.
Or if like Jones and Adesanya ever fight, put those two on the same card.
Jones is chilling on the couch.
UFC usually books things right. They usually, when the fans want it, they usually get it more than any other, obviously, boxing other entity.
But according to Jake Paul, they don't pay their fighters enough. So.
Bro, you can make that case against every company.
Jake Paul.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's the next topic. But to end on that, what company doesn't pay? Big company doesn't pay their employees. You could always use that. That's a cop out. That's easy.
Yeah.
Get me started on this guy.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could go into that. I'm sure we have horror stories of that. Mayweather, obviously, they just They just really. I mean, news came out a few weeks ago that they were in the works, but Mayweather posted it, making it official. Mayweather June 6th, I believe, which is a Sunday. I was told via DM.
Sunday.
Yeah,
on a Sunday. That's interesting, huh?
It's crazy.
Mayweather versus Logan Paul, the other Paul, the one that I get those two mixed up. Yeah, the taller, younger one, or he's the older one.
I don't know.
Ben has a method. Don't you have a method of like how you tell them?
What's that method again?
Oh yeah. Logan's the one with the bangs, and then Jake's the one with the what did I say? Oh, the ugly ass tattoos. I don't know.
You said something about a snake tattoo or some shit.
The snake tattoos. Yeah.
So a lot of the topics, or discussions regarding this Mayweather Logan Paul fight, obviously with his brother Jake Paul and all these, Nate Robinson coming out and boxing, and you could steer the conversation one or two ways. You got one group of people that are saying it's watering down boxing and it's making it more of a joke, but you could see the other side on First Take. They talked about it, Max, and he's a big boxing guy. I love this opinion was at the end of the day, boxing was getting passed by UFC so much, or people were not watching it like the late 90s and beyond. It's kind of like that baseball. It's a pastime sport that boxing needs a little jolt, whether it's to water it down a little bit and make fun of it. But at the end of the day, boxing needed something celebrity-wise, revenue, new stream.
It's a joke. And,
I want to hear what side are you guys on? Are you guys on the traditional? It's bullshit.
Boxing
it's dumb.
Is a joke.
I'm on the Max Kellerman side where it brings attention to the sport. What did
Logan Paul do to deserve to fight Floyd Mayweather, probably the greatest boxer of all time?
Well, he's retired, so it's an exhibition.
What did he do?
You're right that he didn't, but Floyd took the fight.
I understand Floyd took the fight, but what did he do to deserve to be in the same ring as him? Think about all the people that Floyd could have fought in his life, or boxers that wanted to fight Floyd, wanted a chance at his titles, but never got the opportunity.
Because those guys couldn't probably even bring in the money that Logan Paul could bring in, or the eyeballs.
You're in the ring with Floyd. You're bringing in money, especially when Floyd was in the
Floyd,
middle of his
Floyd's
career.
bringing in the money.
This is a different career. Like this is a different career. Boxing for the 50-0.
So then this isn't boxing.
There's it's an exhibition.
Then it shouldn't be it shouldn't even be a boxing match then.
Then what do they do?
It is boxing.
They want to make
boxing.
Money. How do you?
If you and I went out in the backyard and boxed, it's still a boxing match.
So why are they're doing this for money?
I know, but
why doesn't Logan Paul fight somebody? Why doesn't he fight somebody else then?
I agree with that.
Why? Mayweather wants to do it.
Yeah,
because boxing is a joke.
No, the sport of boxing, like the actual combat of boxing, or the business.
I'm not taking anything away from like the fighters, like what the fighters do, like and the boxers do. That's obviously not a joke. Like they train very hard, they're excellent conditioning. None of that is a joke. The sport is a joke. Like the judging system is a joke. The scoring system is a joke.
Well, this isn't like
people promoting the sport are jokes.
Yeah, but this is totally different people. This isn't Bob Arum. No.
Arum.
I don't know.
Promoting.
One of us got it there.
Yeah. One of those old Jewish guys with billions. And he fucking. That's
the
not him.
Utility Players podcast. We
we do not stand with Elvis Escobar in his previous comments.
Ignore that.
We accept all religions and races.
He's old and he's of Jewish descent.
I've been to plenty of bar and bat mitzvahs in my life. They were so much fun.
Absolutely. So yeah, it's a different type of sport. I look at boxing when you watch it on ESPN, you watch it on HBO, Showtime. That's sanctioned, real sanctioned fights. This is exhibition. This is not for a title. This is for pure money. It's entertainment. How do you use boxing or combat sports and make it more revenue stream and entertaining? You throw some celebrities in it. They've been doing this for years.
So why aren't
this
people behind the actual matches then?
Because I want to see Mayweather fight, whether that's
no. I'm saying like why isn't this level of enthusiasm or the other fighters not being able to make the amount of money that these two will be able to make in a boxing match?
Because they're not driving in the money. They're not getting the pay-per-view sales.
Is that on them or is that on the people promoting it? And the fact that millions of people know the judging scoring system is shit.
I think it's a bigger thing, and it's twofold. So you had the portion where boxing was huge, especially when we were growing up. You had all these stars. They then got old. Around that time, as we're getting up, this is when the UFC is starting to take off, right?
Yep.
And it's getting bigger and bigger. And as that's grown, it's overcame boxing. And so you have a lot of these, the younger generation that's growing up, not seeing boxing as it was when we were growing up. They're seeing UFC and they see boxing as something else.
Baseball and football.
You see a lot. I think a lot of these UFC fighters, if UFC wasn't so big, they might have gone down a boxing path instead of learning more mixed martial arts in the UFC path. So boxing's problem is they can't draw any of that young talent into the sport anymore. So this, in a way, to me, even though I agree it's kind of we can get into the whole, why are these people fighting this? Why is Jake Paul calling himself a fighter when he's not, or a boxer when he's never fought an actual boxer yet? Why are they doing all this? In a way, it's a marketing campaign to draw interest, in my opinion, to the sport, to then hopefully maybe draw some younger population back into it, and then maybe turn it around. I don't know if it'll work, but that's kind of a theory that I have on it. Mm-hmm. Why is Logan fighting Floyd? I have no idea, but Floyd took the fight. You know,
that means
he could turn it down.
Do numbers.
He could turn it down. He's going to get a payday
for what he did in the sport and for the sport. He can take that fight.
Yeah,
but
Logan's not going to fight like Tommy Fury.
I think Floyd taking that fight is contributing to the position that boxing is in.
He's not going to care about that. He's not a guy that looks at.
I think he cares about it.
He should
perform.
He trains people and he manages people and he has his own promotion. So,
but that's where he could take his promotion. So he's thinking pure business. He's not thinking about, am I ruining boxing? He's thinking, can my legacy still live on? Which it will, because we're going to watch another fight. And then he could do his own side promotion within this telecast in a way that will maybe if I'm watching ESPN and I'm like, oh, Mayweather, he's on Mayweather's team. I might watch that boxer and be more interested. You know, something like that. Like,
So
it's a kind of cross promotion.
Do you think going forward, more people are going to want to see these types of boxing matches, or after this, will they go and support, say, like Floyd's people, or get into the sport of boxing? Because I think
boxing has to take a chance.
Boxing the world that we're in,
at this point,
the world that we're in, I think people are going to become infatuated with the fact of seeing these celebrity matches.
I feel like this is all just
boxers.
A plot to get Floyd so he can train Jake Paul, because Jake Paul wants to take boxing serious, he says. So
then he needs to
I
fight
believe that
when
he fights somebody.
When he fights
an
a
actual
boxer.
At least his brother's fighting an actual boxer.
Yep, which is the ironic part of it.
Yeah, that is weird. How he only has 2 fights.
I really hope he fights DC.
He's not. He said I read today that he's not going to do it. He wants to fight.
DC had him shook.
And who's he say he wants to fight?
I hope either DC Canelo. Or Tyron Woodley get one of those dudes.
Dude, that's death. You're talking about death for him. You know.
Listen,
but
not taking away from anybody making their money. Cool. Do what you got to do. Get your bag. Jake Paul was at UFC, and was at the last UFC fight. Whatever. First of all, hearing "fuck Jake Paul" throughout the night was hilarious.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's what it's working.
To his credit,
it's
sure,
working.
yeah, because you're getting all the attention. They're talking about you at a UFC. I'm imagining he crossed paths with Dana White that night. No.
Yeah, of course. Probably. Something.
So why, Mr. Tough Guy, are you tweeting shit after? Why not say that shit directly to Dana?
Because it's marketing.
Because it's so people can see it.
Part of fighting. He's marketing himself. That's what he's doing.
You're trying to reason.
Himself.
Go ahead, Ben. Sorry.
He's created him. He's at Jake Paul for as much as, and he annoys all of us, right?
Yeah.
But that's why he's so good. He's created his image as a heel here.
He's a great bad guy.
He's bought into what boxing is. The old days of boxing, where you're creating that image of somebody, you're irritating somebody, you're getting somebody because that draws people in. That
WWE, baby. I want to see a good guy and a bad guy fight.
Is that how boxing was back in the day? Because I'm not someone who followed boxing like that.
Yes.
Okay. No, well, he's not talking literally, not like the boxers itself as far as Muhammad Ali, but you're right. The promotional tool in boxing or any fighting, WWE, UFC, you always got a bad guy and a good guy.
Yeah.
Well, bad guy and good guy. That's what I'm saying. And boxing lost that personality because maybe it's the type of fighters, there are more Hispanic fighters that can't maybe relate or be in that market of more English speaking and vice versa. So this is a way to get social media people. And that's what I meant by you're trying to make reason with people who are influencers. These people do things for money. They dance for a minute and they can't dance. And that's what they do. They make dumb YouTube videos. They talk about, they troll. That's what they do. This is the new, not athlete, but new business mogul of now somebody fought in a boxing match. It did good numbers. People watch it. And they're like, you know what? We could do a pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Who wants to fight? Who wants to train?
Adrian Broner would watch it. Doing that same shit.
Yeah. Nobody wants to watch 2 guys fight that the entire time leading up to the fight, they're like, hey man, good luck. I hope you training hard and you're doing well, and I hope your family's doing well. And
we want to be
entertained.
Have a good fight.
We go out there. Nobody wants to watch that. You would not buy that pay-per-view. I would not buy that pay-per-view at all. The only reason I bought the Jake Paul fight is because he gets under my skin. I want to see the dude get knocked out.
And you will pay your $50, $60 to see it.
And he knows that. But that's the sport of fighting. That's the sport of
fighting. I feel like that's
Absolutely.
why the UFC has also been able to, take over boxing the last, I don't know, decade, I guess.
Yeah.
Because they've had like that
fighting interactions.
Yeah,
great promotions, bro.
Great
Before,
promotions.
after, just everything. They just nail everything every time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And I like having fighters sit up cage side for like other fighters' matches and them talking shit, whether who wins. Like that like WWE aspect to it, where like you're either backstage or like you're ringside. Like I like that, and I get it.
That was the old boxing days.
Okay, see, like so, like I'm unfamiliar with that in the terms of like boxing in general.
Yeah, you'd have Mike Tyson fighting, I don't know, Evander Holyfield, and then out in the front row of the crowd is Lennox Lewis right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you see him, and then
doing one of these.
The whole crowd is like, "Oh shit, that's gonna be next."
Yeah.
That's gonna be next.
Okay.
And so boxing just lost that, I think, because they don't have. I mean, there's talent, but there's not. The UFC is loaded with talent, just in every weight division, including female.
Yeah, male and female.
They are just loaded with talent. Boxing, there's probably a handful of people.
And I'll say, we could all have an opinion before we wrap up this segment. Was I heard this related a while ago with PTI actually, is boxing was built on the heavyweight division, and after Mike Tyson, there was that they didn't make that pass the baton. Lennox Lewis was, but in the early 2000s, what happened? The heavyweight title went from being in America to being in Russia for 10 with Klitschko and the brothers and all that. And then it kind of came back, and, you had a couple of good moments, but from 2002, 2003 to before all this hype with Tyson Fury, that was 15 years.
Yeah.
15 years of no heavyweight division, no real excitement. And then obviously Mayweather came, but the heavyweight division basically came and went. And then that's when the UFC, boom, came in, new, exciting. So that's just my opinion. And that's the history.
Most people don't want to watch two 130-pound guys dance around each other throwing light jabs. I'm saying. Most people don't want to watch that.
How did the heavyweight division come back, by the way? A lot of personalities.
Yes.
Tyson Fury, huge personality, one of the biggest. It's about that. They didn't have that. Now they have Americans, or he's not American, but he's getting into a clash with what's the bronze bomber? Forget his name. Wilder.
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay
Wilder, great promoter, a lot of character. So I think the heavyweight division, a lot of people are watching that division more than anything else. Nobody's watching Canelo. It sucks. Canelo's the best fighter in the world right now. Nobody's watching him.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yeah.
But
I mean, look.
Go ahead, Nick.
I was gonna say, if Tyson Fury's fighting, I'm watching. If Deontay Wilder's fighting, I'm watching.
Mm-hmm.
If Tank's fighting, I'm watching. If Lomachenko's fighting, I'm watching. That's probably about it. Maybe Teofimo, if he's fighting, I'll watch that too. But for me, that's about it. And I'm someone who maybe boxing should want to attract to their sport. I'll take that role, and it's just not attractive to me. Maybe Bud Crawford too, him too.
Yeah,
can't leave him out. But it's nothing else besides that is oh, I'm gonna watch boxing tonight. I have friends that watch the Friday fights on ESPN, or I know Ray watches boxing a lot. So it's what are you guys doing to generate more fans being?
We get that all the time about baseball
in your sport.
Gravy. Me and you. I just can't watch it. Oh, it's too slow. And we're this is the best thing ever, because when you play it from a young age or appreciate it. I had a boxing family that basically twice a year we'd all come together and watch boxing. That's kind of what I was raised into, and that's why I love it. If I wasn't, I would be rooting for these celebrities more than Mayweather probably.
I grew up on Formula One. I think if I never grew up on Formula One, I probably wouldn't be watching it.
I've never watched 5 minutes of a race before.
I watched Rush.
But
the other night.
But I will now if somebody like you and I can relate to you.
That was the only Formula One I've watched.
That's where you promote it yourself. You talk about it, and all of a sudden you got somebody like me that maybe at 9 a.m. or whenever it's on ESPN, if it's on randomly, I might tune in and be like, because you appreciate this sport and I appreciate some of the ones that you do, I'll give it a chance. That's what kind of that's what boxing's trying to do, man. Just trying to put eyeballs on it, and then eventually you could go from there. If eyeballs are on the actual sport, whether it's poor quality or good quality, can't make money, and you can't pay people.
So I feel like we could talk about this.
Of course. Yeah, I'm looking at the time.
To end on this, what do we think happens in the Logan Mayweather fight?
I mean, predictions.
Let me go first. I think Mayweather plays defensive for the majority of the fight. And then probably towards the end, I think he'll start swinging a little bit more than he usually does. Yes. I know where you're going. Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
It's so funny. Historically, Mayweather always loses the first round. In his prime, that was his thing. Lose the first round.
He's always been a defensive fighter.
That's what I mean. But
people are going to want him to come out swinging. He's not going to do that.
Yeah,
he used to
just
not.
not
In
gonna
his younger days, he used to knock people out. But
he's a boxing genius.
But as the aggressor or off of counterpunching.
Alpha counterpunching.
He's a little shoulder roll.
Yeah.
Fire.
So I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed with that fight. I'm interested. I'll watch that. But
I'll watch it too.
I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed because they're going to want him to come out throwing bombs, and he's not going to do that.
I'm not giving up my hopes for that.
Yeah, the only possible way, obviously, is Logan would have to catch him once and knock him out. That's the only possible way. But you're fighting the greatest defensive boxer that's ever lived on this planet, and you're not going to be able to connect with him.
Yeah. I feel like Floyd's going to get those too. Yeah, he's not going to want to get hit.
No, he ain't going to get hit. I mean, I've always been a boxing fan my whole life, but I love watching Floyd fights. If you pay attention to it and you literally watch and realize how much this man does not get hit, how great he is. You cannot hit him. And then I love watching his fights too, because you see the other boxer starting to get frustrated. Like, how can I not hit this
like
guy?
Ortiz with
Canelo. Canelo got frustrated too.
Canelo got frustrated.
Okay, was it that fight? Yeah.
It was Ortiz. Well, Ortiz, the one that did the headbutt, and then
the ref tried to broke him out.
Yeah, and then but Canelo got frustrated too because he couldn't hit him, and I was a 21, 22-year-old Canelo, and he already had like 40 fights under his belt professionally, which is insane.
Yeah.
And you watch halfway through that fight, 7th, 8th round, and I've rewatched that fight multiple times. Man, a guy like Canelo, where he was young, spry, he couldn't touch a what at the time, probably 32, 34 maybe. Let's kind of segue into NFL draft and NFL in general. So the draft is what, tomorrow? Tomorrow's Thursday. We're dropping this episode out tomorrow on Thursday. So.
Or NFL draft weekend, the 4-day draft thing that they do.
Ridiculous.
It's a 4-day every day on TV.
They do the first round on Thursday.
Oh yeah,
and then I think they do like 2nd and 3rd rounds on Friday.
Yeah,
and then they do
4,
the
5,
rest
6,
on the
and 7.
Yeah.
NFL just tries to take total advantage of every aspect.
Squeeze out all the pennies we can.
I get it.
Yeah, and if you watch ESPN this week, which I don't know, we all
trash.
Like 6 episodes in a row.
Single thing is about. I mean, it's so terrible.
I did it again. I fast forward through Get Up again. I wrote it down, guys. I was gonna send it.
Why do you even put ESPN on?
I have a lot of time on my hands.
For me, it's a habit that I've done all my life.
I took notes on ESPN Get Up, and you know what this says? In 60 minutes of the 2-hour show, including commercials, of course, they talked about the Padres for 1 minute and 20 seconds. They talked about Stephen Curry for 1 minute. They talked about the Brooklyn Nets for 1 minute and 20 seconds. 3 minutes and 40 seconds of Tuesday's episode was non-football related.
Yeah.
Who the fuck cares? Who is watching Get Up at 8 a.m. to watch nothing but combine and talk? The first 5 picks of the draft are like set. Who cares? Yeah. And then nobody knows. The average fan doesn't know any player past 15. The average fan does not know. So it's like, what are we talking about?
I know.
Yeah,
all right, that's it. I'm done with that.
I'll probably watch the first round just to watch it, but like I'm gonna watch until the Dolphins pick, and then that's about it.
That's usually what I do.
Which is usually in like the first 30 minutes.
Yeah. And then go on social media and see what cool moments happened.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
what
freaking they're gonna be tweeting it out before anyways.
Oh, that's another thing with drafts now. That's kind of you got to put you want to be on your phone to talk to your boys, but you got to like mute Shams, Woj, because then they're tweeting about NFL shit.
Schefter.
Ian Rappaport said he's not. Ian Rappaport.
And it's funny how they can't
this year.
It's funny how they can't say are picking. They gotta like allude to it and pick like another adjective for it.
Yeah.
NBA should come out and try to police that a little bit, because I get why. I don't know if they can like go up to them and be like, hey, can you guys wait until it's after live instead of putting it before? Because that just it's just too much going on. I'm looking at my phone, I'm trying to talk to people, and the pick, I don't know, it kind of takes the excitement out of it.
All right, so I have questions for you guys.
Yeah.
I want to know, one, who you think the best player in the draft is overall, and Obviously, Ray and I, Giants fans, picking 11. Dolphins are 6 for it.
Yeah, 6.
Ben, where are the Bears picking?
20.
20. All right. So
First,
who's the best player in the draft, and who do you want who do you want your team to get?
Who's going?
Court, you go first.
Yeah. All right. So I haven't really been keeping up with shit too much, so I don't know who the best player in the draft is. I mean, number one is going to be Trevor Lawrence, but I hope the Dolphins probably take Jamar Chase at 6 because I think the offensive lineman from Oregon is probably going to Cincinnati since he takes Chase, but either Sewell or Chase is who I hope the Dolphins take. That's
Ray, I guess we can go Ray because we're before the Bears. So
yeah, I mean, personally for me, I don't try to pretend I know a lot about college football because I watch probably 5%. That's probably being kind. So I usually learn about players after they get picked and kind of look into them and then watch them throughout the year. But I have no passion for college draft or college going into the NFL draft. So all I know is I care about my team. I don't care who goes first before me. I just focus on who my Giants picked, the 6 or 7 picks that we get, and then I do my research on them. I'm not passionate like NBA, but you could go on it.
I do think we only have 5 picks this year.
Okay, 5.
But I guess I'll do it for both of us. I think Kyle Pitts is probably the most talented player in the draft.
Yeah, he's up there. I just didn't want to say him because
a dream. I know, for real. A dream scenario would be him going to the Giants. Probably not going to happen. I see a lot of reports that the Giants want to take Devonta Smith or Jalen Waddle. I do not want an offensive player. We have enough of those guys.
Yeah, I think
we need to focus strictly on defense. I wanted Micah Parsons. Apparently, he's getting some bad raps or he's injured or something. Not really sure, but I'm hoping. I saw today we might trade up earlier into like 5th or 6th pick to get Sewell. But if not, I'd take a corner.
Yeah, I personally want a linebacker or offensive lineman. I think we're good at offensive. We've improved the people that we had from 2 years ago, last year to this year. What we have, secondary. For the first time since I've been a fan, I can actually say we're pretty top notch at that. I think we take that next step to be like top 5. Linebacker, we got the D line is improved. The offensive line and linebacker. You're right. The weapons, running backs, wide receivers, we have some. So, let's spread it out a little bit. Keep that defense from what were we, top 10, top 12 last year? Try to get into the top 5, and then kind of helps out the offense move if you got a great elite defense.
For sure.
The Bears.
I like the pause.
First off, Kyle Pitts is the best player in the draft, so I agree there without a doubt. I mean, that man's going to be a stud, for sure, unless he goes to the Cowboys.
8-8.
We all feel like that. Yeah. We all agree on that one.
But for my Bears, I do think they're going to try to trade up. I think they're going to try to make a splash. They have to. I mean, it's Ryan Pace. It's Ryan Pace and I forget
Matt Nagy.
Matt Nagy's. I mean, they both know if we don't do anything this year, their jobs are on the line.
Yeah.
And so Ryan Pace traded up to get Mr. Trubisky, so he better try to work his magic and trade up again. We need a quarterback. I want them to trade up, make a splash, and draft Fields. I don't know if that will happen, but if not, and they stay at 20, we need O-line help. So I want that Tevin Jenkins from Oklahoma State, yeah. But we need O-line for sure. O-line. It's either quarterback or O-line. We need one. So
Fields would be nice. I like Fields.
Yeah, I like Fields a lot. I think the first 3 pick, well, for sure, obviously, I mean, not even the first 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks. It'll probably be, Trevor Lawrence is set in stone. By the way, signed a endorsement deal with Block. Is it BlockFi? I don't know.
I saw that.
And then I think obviously the Jets are going to take Zach Wilson, and then the Niners haven't said who they're going to take, but we know they're going to take either Fields No,
Mac Jones or Trey Lance.
Or Trey Lance. Yeah. There's a lot of QBs. You know, they're probably going to be 5 QBs within the first, what?
There might be 6 in the first round. Kellen Mond's been getting some looks at later in the first round.
Who knows? I don't know.
Anything?
What happened?
I don't know, but people are smiling inconspicuously. So I'm like,
I texted something in the group chat just to. No, whatever.
I wouldn't be. I don't know if you guys saw with the with Tampa Bay. Oh my goodness! I don't know if you guys saw what Tampa Bay's general manager said about their draft strategy.
What was it?
He said basically nobody that's being drafted is going to make the team because they pretty much have who they need to win the Super Bowl.
Right.
We'll pick you, but we're probably trading you right after or waiving.
It's true.
So I did see something that would make sense, and everyone should look out for is them taking a quarterback in the first round.
No.
Yeah.
No. Who?
Why not? Kellen Mond.
No. Why would they do that? First off,
because they can be the backup.
They got Gabbert.
And Brady can groom him for 5 more years until he's 65.
Did you hear what Kyle Shanahan said about Garoppolo when they asked him?
Yeah.
They're picking. He's like, I don't know if we're gonna all be alive come Sunday or something. Like, I was like he made the most like morbid. I know. I liked it too because I like when people say shit that is just like it's not controversial, meaning like whatever, but it kind of doesn't make sense. Just to get the media talking about it. I love when coaches do that. Like, all right, you want a soundbite? I'm going to say something radical here that doesn't really make sense.
Kittle replied to him.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I don't know if we're going to be alive. I can't tell you.
I think we should address. Yeah, I think we should address the text message right now live. I think the fans want to know.
All right.
Yeah. So my apologies to everybody. I wasn't clicking a pen. My wife is gonna kill me because she's heard it before too. It was like, who's doing that? And I'm like, oh man, I wasn't clicking a pen. Although I do have a habit. There's like 3 pens in front of me of clicking it, but I was clicking my AirPods case.
I do that too.
I do the same thing,
bro. That
it's hard for me to sit still, people. It's hard for me to sit still.
It feels so good when you open and close that, and the sound it makes. Like, so I can relate. But I was hearing it click, right, and I'm trying to be focused on what you're saying, but also look at like maybe next topics or something. And I'm like, no, I can't not hear the clicking.
Yeah, I'm gonna chain my arms to my desk.
Yeah,
next thing, so
it's
I can't
all
move.
good. That's funny.
Hey, when I'm at work, I have a habit of, because I'm on Excel sheets all day, so I have a habit of talking to myself while I'm working.
Oh,
like walking yourself through.
No, just saying the most random shit ever, or just like making up like my own
Mets are gonna win the World Series.
No.
Knicks are the best team in the East.
No, hey, we do have a better record than the Heat.
I think Gravy's still sane. He's not delusional yet.
No. Hey, I said 10th seed when the season started, so I don't want to hear shit.
No, I like it. That's funny.
Yeah, I say the most random shit. Mandy's like looking at me like, "Are you talking to me?" And I'm like, "Nope, just over here saying random shit."
Yeah.
I do also click my AirPods case all the time.
Yeah, I do.
It's so addicting.
Yeah.
So addicting.
I feel you on that. They have fidget, like, the fidget spinners.
Yeah.
They also have like, people who click
I've seen so many ads
the
like
AirPods.
Instagram lately.
Yeah, it's like it'll have like a click, a knob, like a rubber thing, like things that people like play with because that is a thing. Like I have to put my pen down for that reason.
I have a Rubik's Cube at my desk that I play with, but then I'll like get started on it and I'll like get going and then I'll just pick it up to like mess with it.
Yeah.
Just something to mess with. And then I like ruin all my progress because I'm like, bah, 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 and I'm like, damn it, I messed up. I ruined my freaking progress.
You're funny.
They had the 3x3s and then they made 4x4s and
I know.
They had 5x5s.
Triangles. I'm like,
they had a 2x2. Like, come on.
Yeah. Trying to make this easier. I mean, it was good the way it was, It was good the way it was. Why would you even, there's a triangle one. Who cares about that? Keep it in the regular box shape. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The Rubik's Cube was fine the way it was the first time. Sorry.
Nothing's more fun than that pin game at Cracker Barrel.
Never been to one. I don't.
Really? You never been to a racist ass Cracker Barrel?
That's what I was just gonna say. I was gonna try to make an analogy there, but I was like, "There's no motivation to ever go in one." Put it that way.
That's some really good racist food. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I've heard. Anything that is only on the highways or off highways usually is in my thing, and especially with the name Cracker Barrel.
What are we talking about next? Because my what be wonder topic this week has to do with basketball.
Okay, so hold on. So I just wanted to squeeze this in. I just wanted to see you guys' topic because we didn't bring it up in the group chat too much. But NFL number changes. Is it a joke? Is it marketing? Is it just a way?
With it.
I
love it.
And we'll spend a few minutes on it because I want to keep moving because we have a couple of random
the first
topics.
thing we all agree on.
Numbers, I mean, I don't mind it. I've always said, like, when I made my own character, I always wanted to be a certain number, and I couldn't as a running back, for example. I would want to be number 18, but I had to be like in the 20s. So that part of it, like to create the character and the numbers. But man, Honey Badger said it best when he put out a tweet. He's like, some of y'all acting like real divas with this number thing, and it's 100% true.
Wait, who said this?
Honey Badger.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's my guy. I love that guy.
Oh, I love him too, and he's just like. And it makes sense because today's athlete, it's always, what do I look like? Do I got my armbands? Do I got my visor on?
Yeah.
Do I got my socks, tucked in?
So I do Madden when I create my.
No, and I get that, but like,
I almost wore a headband under my hat to softball on Monday. Okay, I feel that.
They get into it too much. No, I feel it too. When I go to softball, I try to look athletic, like what I'm doing. But what's your guys' take on it? I mean, I truly don't care other than it's just NFL players to make them look cool for the gram.
I think it's awesome.
Definitely for it.
I can't wait to see Patrick Peterson and the number 7.
I was just gonna say that's. I like that.
I'm hoping Jabril Peppers gets 5 from Graham Gano.
Oh, that would be dope.
Yeah.
I love it too. It's so ridiculous that there's so much of a gripe about numbers, that especially what Tom Brady said, like, good luck trying to block, it's a fucking number. If you can't learn the number in somebody, then hey man.
Well, the way the guy looks like
the playbooks or
nobody's
like
confusing an offensive lineman and a wide receiver.
Exactly. It's a number. It's a
number. No, I just meant from what they look like.
Right,
like,
right? Yeah.
Like, all right, that's definitely not they're wide out.
No one's confusing me and Ben.
Hey, good analogy.
First off, what wide receiver do you see in this body? Unless it's a mini slot. I'm like Julian Edelman.
You're like Wes Welker.
There's a couple.
I'm like Wes Welker.
Like Booper Bub.
I was gonna say something about
Booper Bub.
I'm like, this guy's white. What are you talking about? But hey, I get it, but traditionalist, but it's also, I think, you're a certain position, you come in the league and you might have a number that you were in college, like I think you just said Jabril Peppers, or anybody that you really like, it's attached to you, it might have sentimental value to you. And then it's like, hey, you only can pick from 19 to 30, and it's like, okay,
Damn.
What? Let me go 22. Someone's got 22. Let me go 23. Someone's got 23.
Yeah, but I'm always enamored of how that process is because I'm big on numbers because I'm a Yankee fan. So like when the Yankees give out like the number 14, I get fucking annoyed because I'm like, why would you give number 14 to Tyler Wade? Like save 14 because we only have 3 numbers available below the number like 25. So it's like, give that number to an all-star, potential all-star or something like that. I always talk to my boy.
As a Yankees fan.
Oh, yes. Yeah. No, we're saying the same thing. Go ahead.
No, I guarantee we're not saying. If we are saying the same thing, I'll drive to your house right now and kiss you on the forehead.
Okay.
And he'll go live.
Yeah.
IG live.
As a Yankees fan, I've always wanted to ask somebody this, that has, your look.
Oh, thanks.
Would you would shave your beard and cut your hair?
Oh, nope. Not
to play on that team?
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I paused because I wanted to think.
Forget the money. Forget the money. Take the money out of the equation.
So right now I'm 100% me, but I'm amazing at baseball, right? I probably have more of an ego, but I would, to play on the Yankees. The Yankees are the only team, obviously, that does anything like that in North American sports. But they can do it because of the Yankees. If no other team would even be able to try something like this nowadays.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm surprised
I
cancel
like
culture
it.
hasn't got them yet.
So you would risk looking as ugly as Rougned Odor just to play on the Yankees?
If I could play on the Yankees, yeah,
you can have the stash though, right?
And I like that they do. Yeah, you could have a stash. I definitely support that stash. And I try to, obviously my hair being long, that just started last year during all this COVID stuff. So the hair being long wouldn't be an issue. It'd just be the beard. That'd probably be very stressful in my life.
Okay. All right.
Wait, and you did say number 14, right?
Yeah, 14. We have
No,
11.
Just the number 14 was ironic because that's how many points the Knicks are up on the Bulls right now. But anyways, what I was going to say is, as a Yankees fan, when do you think there'll be a period in time where the Yankees stop retiring every single number?
Right.
See, that's the issue with the Yankees is not only do we have a lot of retired numbers, because I get it. We've been a franchise for 100 plus years, and we've been successful for 90% of that 100 or 110. So I get it. Right. A lot of things are going to go on. So, but what they do is I hate that they have either say the number 13 is retired or it's not. Say the number 21 for Paul O'Neill is retired or not. Paul O'Neill played his last game, the Game 7, Arizona Diamondbacks, Game 7 versus the Yankees.
Yep.
And that was his last game. That was 20 years ago. And it's no one wears it. One person has worn it. And guess what happened? The fans forced that man to change it because they booed him every time he pitched. LaTroy Hawkins, and he was a great setup man for us. But they booed him and made him change it. Like Paul, the number's not retired. Figure it out. Why are you not handing this number out? So that's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Is not only do they have retired numbers, they have numbers that are like, we may retire it. Nobody can.
So is there like maybe like, hey, after your number's been retired for 20 years, like we're putting it back on somebody?
We're gonna recycle it.
I'm someone who likes to see like a nice number on a player.
Yes.
Like
there
that
you do.
May sound
a
little off the rocker here. Don't want to use the actual word. But
yeah, I'm big into that.
Nick sees somebody wearing, 22 running out to the outfield. And he's like, damn, I like that.
No, listen, Taj Gibson wearing 67 pisses me off. Yeah. Because sorry if you have some sentimental value, but it's fucking ugly.
Yeah, no, there's some ugly numbers.
67 is an ugly number, by the way.
By the way, you guys have to carry me because my cat just pooped in the litter box about 5 inches from me, and the fumes are getting to me. So go ahead, Ben.
No, I think we talked about this before, but I think teams go too crazy with retiring of numbers. Like it's too lenient to me. There's like a lot of people that have retired. I'm like, I don't know.
I go through that all the time
about that. I don't know about that because you're limiting yourself. You're either if you continue on that path, some year down the line, you're going to run into a situation and be like, hey, I think we're going to have to expand into 3-digit numbers, because we don't have much to choose from here anymore.
Well, hey,
no offense to Andre Iguodala, but I don't think they should have retired his number.
Hell no.
Will retire his number.
Warriors?
That's just my opinion.
Fuck no.
No.
That's what I mean. He's not an all-time.
Yeah.
The Heat retire anybody's number. Yeah, Shaq has his number retired.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I know he won. I know. No, D Wade won y'all first ring.
I mean, Shaq was there.
Chris Bosh has his number retired. Y'all retired Jordan's number.
Yeah, no. Crazy. Miami Heat are yeah, that's all you have to say. Which I love, by the way. But yeah, didn't they retire? Well, they have Dan Marino in the rafters. Why do they have little things like that? The Miami Heat are different in that way, but I don't get it.
If anyone from the Los Angeles Dodgers are listening right now, retire my grandfather's number already, okay? Because I didn't want to see Kike Hernandez wearing that shit last season.
Kike.
All right? I need my guy's number retired for 2 different teams.
At least he balled in it. He was a scrappy player that got a new contract with the Red Sox. So he did respect.
I like Kike.
I like him too.
I traded for him in my MLB The Show franchise. Right.
Because we went a long time on the 3 or 4 topics so far.
I know we've only talked about like 4.
Yeah,
I know, right? That's so, I'm looking at the time.
So this week I have another question for you guys, and I'll take it to sports this time. I really need some sort of hype music to come in, like what B wonders,
Wonders.
So Here's what I'm thinking about. I'm posing this question to all three of you, but specifically all three of you, and I want your honest opinions. I want to know what happens. I'm wondering what happens when the Nets and the Lakers meet up in the NBA Finals and the Nets win it all with, and I'm talking two teams who for the majority of the year have not had most of their players, specifically the Nets, even play together. Maybe if they have them even throughout the whole playoffs playing with each other. What does that do for the NBA if that happens and the Nets win it all? Do you think that hurts the NBA?
Is everyone
Nets
healthy?
win it all?
Yes.
I do think the Nets win it all if everyone is healthy.
I think it just proves to LeBron James' greatness.
I feel like it's good for the league.
Don't be that guy.
I'm saying the Nets win it all.
Yeah, if the Nets win it all, I still feel it's good for the league. Harden finally gets a title. You know,
people are going to be tuned in no matter what.
And I'm not knocking the Nets or the Lakers here. So let's say that. What I'm saying is, what does that show for the NBA that both of these teams have had their majority of their best players gone for almost the entire year, yet no one could still take them out?
They should shorten their season.
Okay.
Not a chance, pal.
Yeah,
no, I know it's not going to happen.
So I hope I answer your question, but I'll try to do it in 60 seconds. But basically, the Nets build a franchise the right way and built the team the right way, 100% for the last 5 years. They traded away all their assets. Now they built it the right way, developing players, signing D'Lo. They made the playoffs. Now they use that capital that they didn't have for 5 years to gain players that are elite. Now they want to throw shade that they built a super team. Meanwhile, players wanted to.
I'm not talking about super team.
No, I'm leading into that.
Oh.
I was leading into the finals overall, but there's the narrative changes is what I'm trying to say. Is the narrative changes with the Nets every day, every hour, every week, depending on who's injured, who's sitting out, who. It's just this constant narrative because I get it. They're like kind of like the Beatles. They want to be. People want to talk about them. ESPN, everybody. If they're all healthy, the amount of talent that they can put on the floor, whether it's all three of them plus other players or one and all they have too much talent if all healthy not to get to the finals and possibly win it. What other team has? I don't want to hear about defense because at the end of the day, when you're playing in slower playoff series, the game slows down, defense pick up intensity. You're not. Yeah. I'm not playing TLC in Game 4, who I fucking hate every time they put him on the floor. Get him off on the Nets. But he's not going to play. He's not going to sniff anything probably in the playoffs. And if he does, we probably have some injuries, knock on wood. So if it's Lakers Nets, it should go 6-7 games. It'll be one of the greatest finals if everyone's healthy in a really long time.
All right. Well, I get
Cavaliers
that. I get all that. What I think I'm alluding to here is you have both these teams who have had most of their players injured all year, yet no one could literally still take them out. Does that even prove or show more of a point like the NBA's got a problem of, is the season too long? Is it not as competitive enough during the regular season that you have a team like the Nets that have their 3-star players and yet they still are number one in the East? They have no other team in the East that can really compete with them, with all three of them that not gelling together. You have the Lakers out there. I know they've slipped. They're in the West, but I can't think of another sport where you would have this many star players out and they would still be able to survive this well to get maybe that far in the playoffs.
All three of them
I'm not knocking any of them.
6 or 8
I'm
games
just saying,
together. It's ridiculous.
A big problem for the NBA this year has been the quick turnaround after the bubble last year.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's why we're seeing so many injuries.
Stupid ass COVID protocols, by the way.
Yep.
That doesn't help because they don't practice enough. So in my opinion, if I had to blame one thing, COVID / not being able to practice. That's it. That's kind of the number one.
Ray kind of lost me after he said that. After he went on that whole built not bought thing or whatever, because that was hilarious.
How do you
build it's the New York Knicks, okay, pal?
That team is not going to get to the finals. Eventually, you're going to have to sign 2 fucking all-stars. You're going to have to sign people. That's what I mean.
We already have
Don't be mad at a team that does it. Don't be mad at a team that uses their assets that they built and developed. I'm not saying you. I'm just saying
okay.
It's like,
that's how you
build
have to
them
win
like the
in
Knicks.
today's
The
NBA.
Knicks are not going to the conference finals. Teams like that, the Hornets, they're great. They're exciting. They're youthful. They're not going anywhere. How do you get to the NBA finals? You get fucking talent.
Yeah,
correct.
Period.
Correct.
Sorry.
Do I think the only thing I don't like is them fucking, I get it, like injuries and stuff like that. Like I understand that aspect of it, but they were fucking signing anybody. And like when I say anybody, I'm not disrespecting the people that they're signing, Jacob. Okay.
They had to go somewhere.
No.
They told the Pistons to eat 70 mil and drop Griffin. They told Spurs to not to bench
wild.
LaMarcus
Aldridge
for a month. They told them that, or they were like, "Oh, hey, you want to come?"
Whether they're signing Blake, let me get to my point. Whether they're signing Blake or they're signing Mike James, who's good. I couldn't watch
10
Mike
points,
James
11 points.
No, dude's a legend overseas. But my point is they are signing anybody.
No, I don't agree because the word anybody means, hey, Paul off the street, come and play. No, Blake Griffin did not play for a month.
You signed Shumpert off the street.
Oh, but Shumpert played for us last year, so there was familiarity, meaning he could come in and just play and
you don't
stick
make fun
to
of Shump, okay? Once a Nick, always a Nick, pal.
I don't know. I'm too passionate about this topic. If you understand the team,
I'm not knocking the team.
It's Blake Griffin.
The Nets haven't done anything
play
different.
For a month.
The Nets haven't done anything different than what the Lakers have done the past couple of years.
Here's what I was going to get
different than what the
Clippers
Warriors have done.
Look at
they
the
didn't do anything
Clippers.
different what the Heat have done when they had LeBron and D Wade. They haven't done anything different. They followed the same model that every other team has done.
That's what you have to do to win titles.
We traded three starters for one player.
Steven Nash should be in the running for Coach of the Year, and I don't think it gets talked about enough.
I've seen that on Twitter today.
I
don't truly care about that because at the end of the day, he's doing.
I'm just saying
managing. The
because
he's dealt.
Granted, you guys signed all these players, and whether they're big players, little players, doesn't matter. It's impressive to see where you guys are.
Yeah,
like I'll give you that.
I'm shocked.
Right, and for him to do that his first year of coaching with the egos and the talent and.
Not a peep. Not one person
signing DeAndre and be like, "Hey, DeAndre, you're not playing because we have 7 centers today." And then now look at DeAndre playing 430.
I respect that take. That's good insight. No, because you got to know what you're talking about to say DeAndre Jordan hasn't played and he also hasn't come out and said anything. He hasn't. Right. He's still like cheering guys on. I watch him every time because I'm looking for that. Exactly. And he's at that point of his career where guess what? When he plays and he didn't start or play for 3 straight games, they started him. What did he do? Got like a double-double. And he was energized because he knows his body cannot play 70 games, 60 games. So he's like, hey, this is just an off day. I'm going to be needed in the playoffs. That James Harden pick and roll lob is going to work in the finals. So we're going to need that. So I love it.
I'm calling it right down. Mark it down. The Lakers don't come out of the West.
Ooh.
I started to feel that way more recently than ever.
They lose to?
Wait, say that one more time.
Lakers do not come out of the West.
All right.
Okay. I respect that.
I don't know yet.
Clip it.
I don't. Yeah. I do
put it
not
on a dad
know.
Hat.
Oh my God.
I'll put it on dad.
SIFTV.
They don't. I don't think that.
There's a lot of good teams in the West, so that's
I don't like that team. I don't want to say the Suns. I don't want to say the Jazz. I don't know, but I don't like that Lakers team right now. I don't like him when LeBron comes back either. And I don't think they come out of the West. So
I like the Suns.
Any other basketball news?
Are we doing Bet the Fort? I think we're at like an hour and a half right now.
Yeah, no, we're at an hour. We're about an hour 5. I'm timing it. So let's jump into Bet the Fort.
All right. So
you send me the picks.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up right now.
All right, I gotta post what you did last week. Were you? I don't know if we're counting 4 or 5. I gotta look at the archives, but did you come up?
The Suns won against the Sixers. I had Valentina and I had Doug Rose, and then I had the Padres. I had the Dodgers. They lost.
Oh yeah, shout out Fernando Tatis Jr. My favorite.
Oh yeah, they lost.
Right? Yeah, he was hooping.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So give us
that series was fucking electric this weekend,
bro.
Sorry.
That was going to be a top.
Shout out Mike Trout too, by the way.
But...
The guy's still destroying the league.
Best player in the world.
Yeah,
Ohtani,
best player ever.
A freak.
Yeah,
it's crazy that those two teams. That team has two like specimens of baseball players. Yet it's like, wait, what team are they on? Where do they play? Like it's we'll save that probably for
then
next
you see
week,
Albert Pujols and you're like, damn, the guy's still in the league.
Yeah, exactly. We'll talk about that because that series in baseball conversation needs to be had. But go ahead for it.
All right, so we got a really good matchup Friday night in the NBA. Utah at Phoenix. I'm gonna take Phoenix straight up. Fuck it, because no Donovan Mitchell, no Mike Conley. I think Phoenix is probably. I had Denver as the best team in the West, but Jamal Murray got hurt, so I think Phoenix is probably going to take that first seed. And then Sunday afternoon, we got the Nets at the Bucks. I'm taking the Nets. Fuck the Bucks. And then,
never works out for you, but okay.
Yeah,
it's worked out like once. I'm hoping
the Bucks and Damian Lillard, like you have a constant battle with. It's funny.
So that's why I keep at it, trying to get them back. And then we got one baseball. We got the Cardinals and the Pirates. I'm taking the Cardinals. It's a 3-game series, so I think it goes. I think what's his name pitches on Sunday.
Flaherty, Wainwright.
No. Yeah, Wainwright pitches on Sunday.
Fuck that guy.
That boy, he's having a good year.
Yeah, he's good, man. He's one of the best. Fuck out of Wainwright.
Shout out to Austin Gumber, I think his name is, from the Colorado Rockies for getting me a -23 on Monday.
How is that
possible? He gave up like 8 runs in an inning.
Damn. ERA trash.
You got 4 or 5? Was that you picking the Cardinals 3. On that one?
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals. Yeah, only 3 this week.
All right, cool. Let's see. Any topics? And this is kind of where we get, last few we could get a little random.
Shout out my guy OJ Mayo hooping in the CBA.
I did see that. That's pretty cool. He's still playing.
Yep, my guy.
Yep.
Did you guys seeing Tatis do with the McGregor walk that Bauer, he was taunting Bauer's ass?
Loved it.
Yeah, great for baseball.
He made a Photoshop.
So great. I love it too.
That's what baseball doesn't have. They don't have that social media beef, and that's what I love that they were going back. Photoshop, look, they're showing Tatis now on MLB Tonight. Man, he's worth.
I'm glad that he's that way.
Stopping and watching.
He's what that sport needs. Someone electric like that. Someone that doesn't really care about like those unwritten rules and shit, and he just has that swagger. Like,
and you can never say he doesn't respect the game. He's been in the game. His his father played, so his whole life. You can't say if anybody respects the game that's been around it, it's him. So you can't.
It's not disrespecting the game. It's not disrespecting the game at all.
I hate that narrative.
If he's doing that to me only. If you're doing that to somebody, you have to respect him somehow. You're not doing that to fucking, I'll say Adam Wainwright,
Mm-hmm.
So
hey, the former Rockies GM Jeff Bridich, I think is how you say his name, resigned this weekend, which is great for the Rockies because that guy was absolutely fucking horrible at his job. I don't know how you run Arenado out of town.
Yeah,
but he did that, and they're on the verge of probably losing Trevor Story this year. But at least hopefully they'll get somebody, and who wants to play for that guy after seeing what they did to their franchise player.
Yep.
So hopefully,
see the difference.
They get somebody good in that position.
Man, how many franchises in baseball just can't historically or within the last 30, 40 years? No, not. I would put like the Pirates, the Rockies, the teams that just are always have talent. They always have some players that are all-stars that are exciting. And they just, it's got to stink from the head down. It's got to be ownership to management. You can't blame it on coaching and GM. It's got to be who's running the day-to-day business aspect because they're ruining it. They're turning players off. Players don't want to go there or stay. They gave Nolan that big contract and still there was a riff. Like what?
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can understand if it's once, but if it's happening all the time, I mean, it happens to the New York Football Giants, the Yankees, some riffs, but if it's happening every year, you got a problem.
Yeah. I did want to also say, not to be on the depressing side, but rest in peace to Geno Hayes. played for FSU, and then got drafted by the Bucks. Died at 33. I believe it was something with his liver. I think it was just liver disease. But just wanted to say that. Don't know if I have much else.
Did you guys see Yeezy sell for 1.8 million?
Yeah.
Million or million?
They talked about it on PTI. I love when they talk about like new modern shit and they just don't understand it. Kornheiser's like, a shoe. I hope he signed it for being that much money. It's like they're selling digital shoes nowadays, boy.
Yeah,
like you don't even know. Like you're so behind. Like to understand that like 1.8 for a Yeezy for like one of a kind doesn't make Nike's. I think it was because he was at the Grammys with it or something like that. Like there's so much obviously value in that because the unique. And Tony Kornheiser can't understand it. He's like, I hope he signed it. Is that why it's worth so much? It's like,
Kornheiser's funny.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I think that's about it. I had a couple other random topics, but we'll kind of save it for next time.
I got 2 shout outs.
Yeah,
you don't want to talk about that team on your hat?
Oh, Real Madrid. I mean, hopefully we won't. Let's go. Let's wait for next week because yeah, that's when we'll feel. When do you guys play? Wednesday?
We play Tuesday. I think you guys play Wednesday.
Yeah. Okay. So, cool. Yeah, we'll save that because I wore it for a reason. But
we're sitting pretty. I'm not worried right now.
We're sitting pretty.
Yeah, I'm not worried either. I think I like our position going in.
I'll take 2 away goals.
Yeah, that was dope.
Yeah, two shout outs. One shout out Dan Levitard for getting that 3-year deal with DraftKings. You know, ESPN let him go. Terrible decision on their end by not bringing him back. He's what's up in sports. But it's good for DraftKings, good for sports betting, and that's going to be us one day. And then my second shout out my boy Orlando. His birthday today.
Hey,
and
my dog.
Brady's yesterday and Dom's yesterday. So.
Oh yeah, Dom, shout out birthday.
Fuck you, Dom. Every year I send Dom $1 on Venmo and he sends it back. I'm just like, happy birthday, bro.
I'm reading through the DMs now and a few shout outs. Ian was like, Cubs fire sale this July. And I know Ben can relate to that.
Oh man.
You guys swept the Mets. You guys were awful before the Mets series, sweep them, and then just get back to and then Hendricks light gets lit up again on my fantasy team right before we started this episode.
Mets just got swept in a 2-game series with Boston.
Yeah.
So DeGrom gave up a run and the poor guy lost today. So he's now 2-2 on the season.
Chicago had the mighty have fallen, huh? For
dude,
so much young talent.
It's gonna be a fire sale in July.
Yeah.
Free Anthony Rizzo.
I mean, Javi, KB.
Nice.
KB to the Mets, baby.
Yeah, they're gonna have to make some trades,
Clip this.
Get some assets back.
Put it on a t-shirt, underdog.
Cubs are used to you guys are used to losing, so it's like at the end of the day, if you have another rebuild for 5 years, you'll be fine. You'll get through it.
No, that's not the new Cubs.
That's not the mentality.
The new Cubs were supposed to.
What's his name left?
The new Cubs.
What's his name left? You guys fell apart.
It's the fucking owners, the Ricketts family, that damn family. I can't stand looking at their fucking face that turned into a damn real estate company. Get rid of them. You don't give a shit about baseball.
Get rid of the owners.
Everybody knows that you don't give a shit about baseball. Sell the Cubs so we can get back to winning. You won the World Series, great, grand, but you don't know how to run a fucking team.
You guys win a World Series every 100 years, so stick around till 2200.
When's the next time you're going to win World Series?
Ooh, spicy.
86, right? Was the last time.
Yeah, so it was 69, then 86, so that's 17. So probably soon, probably within the next 10 years.
For your birthday, I was going to get you one of those pennants that showed the New York Mets in the World Series. And I was like, I always shy away from those because I'm like, what if they win another one? Then I have this outdated pennant. But I was like, the Mets aren't going to win another one, so this one might work. I'm kidding.
I know where you live. You know what? I'm taking Mello in the car. I'm gonna have him piss on your grass.
More DMs. Shout out Manny.
Hey, don't piss on my grass. I've been working hard on that.
Favorite kind of cheese.
Favorite kind of cheese.
Wait, who said that?
Damn.
My boy Manny.
Oh, I thought you said Mandy. I was about to go upstairs.
I like to make sure we in these when the fans, the thousands of you guys watching around the world, when they DM, you gotta show some love. You gotta.
I think we should do it too. I think we should call it out. But
yeah, so favorite kind of
cheese, man. I'm actually a big blue cheese fan. I like it.
Pretty good.
I like goat cheese a lot.
Mine's any type of cheese. I try to be vegan, so I don't have real cheese.
Really, yeah.
I don't have real cheese in my fridge. I have more fake cheese. But cheese is
mozzarella,
pepper jack cheese.
I like to say
I
once was told cheese is a silent killer, and it is. That
Thanks.
You eat enough cheese, that shit catches up to you. Shout out Idis. He had an idea for like when we talk about like money and business and stocks and shit. We call it street talk. Thought that was a pretty cool idea. Feinberg, #1 fan, obviously.
Feinberg, man.
Speaking
I don't even know this guy Feinberg, but I like him. I love his
he's been to Iowa twice to visit me. So
he's my favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, you go to Iowa to visit somebody? That's love.
Yeah.
That's love.
Mariah's gonna be here in an hour. Go to the airport and pick her up.
Nice, man. He DM'd us. He goes, food places charging more for healthier alternatives like vegan, vegetarian, non-dairy. All
right, listen.
If
you don't know Feinberg, the guy was fat for 26 years.
I agree. And now he's trying to better his life, and he goes up to a restaurant and he's got to pay $15
is better in his life. I got to give him his props. All right, he's lost a lot of weight. You're looking good, Feinberg.
That's a great question. I wish we'd have brought that up earlier because I want to go in depth. That's a
we could save that one. I could note that for a random rant. What be wonders next week? Stay tuned.
We save that for
I like that
for next
week
because I want to talk about this.
It's ironic to eat healthier costs more, which is crazy because it takes less than
America.
I don't think necessarily.
Well, it
doesn't. Buy a bunch of tuna cans are $1.99.
I don't mean to make it. If you make it yourself, it's affordable. But if you're going out, and I know what he meant by it, but like you pay $15 for a salad.
The problem is subsidies,
Yeah.
And
I have a weird take to this really fast.
Go ahead.
I think that healthier food is more expensive because less people eat it. And if more people ate healthier foods, it would cost those companies less to make it.
No. Yeah. It's a great theory, but
dude, a slice of pizza in New York is $1. You know why? Because they have more traffic in and out of a pizza shop. A slice of pizza at Taste of New York in West Des Moines at 165 South Jordan Creek Parkway, plugged right there.
Plug.
Yeah.
Street talk.
Costs more. You know why? Because there's less foot traffic in there.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, they could spit out those dollar slices per hour. Yeah.
That's different. But you could go into the grocery store and get a pear. You can buy a pear for 30 cents.
Pears.
I eat pears.
Shout out.
Shout out Rick Rouse. Only because I seen this randomly, and I've been listening to Joe Rogan and Elon Musk. If you guys, I know Ben, I don't know if you're into Elon Musk. I just recently got.
He's actually Elon Musk's third cousin.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. See, this is why I fuck with you, Ben.
Yeah.
Me and Bree were listening to the pod. I watched the third interview, and then I went back and I'm watching them in order. I could just listen to them talk all the time because it's like, it's so beyond my grasp of intellect, but like I'm learning from what I'm taking from it. And he's actually going to be on Saturday Night Live, Elon, which is going to be very interesting because he is very socially awkward. You know, that spectrum type. He's so intelligent. Yeah, he's on that spectrum as far as socially awkward. It's going to be weird seeing him on Saturday Night Live because that's awkward even if you have the charisma like a Drake, like a Justin Timberlake. I can't even picture the skits they're gonna do. So that's gonna be fun to watch.
The best way to watch when you watch those, if you actually watch the Joe Rogan Elon interviews, those are the best because if
I've been watching
Elon talk and you see how he talks to you and you're like, dude, is this guy's like a different, more intelligent version of a human that like we're not the same person. But there's one moment in one of his podcasts where he's like talking and then Joe's sitting there and like the camera pans to Joe and he's like this. He's like, I'm too stupid for this conversation.
Yeah. I just listened to that exact part yesterday. He starts talking about AI and putting, if you guys are into that stuff, best real quality interview. He's talking about putting how we are extensions. Our phone is an extension of us, and that basically one day our phone's gonna be in us. And then all of a sudden he just looks and he pauses and he goes, "Pass that whiskey. I need to be drunk for this or something like that." He's like, "You keep talking, I'm gonna have to pull out the weed and shit." So yeah, that's some good conversation. Little things. Anything else before we kind of wrap it up? We're at about an hour 20. That's it.
Shit.
Cool. Well, like I posted. Well, we posted last week. We have over 1,000 streams on YouTube and audio. So we appreciate you guys watching and listening. That's episode 13 next Tuesday, I believe, because the boys are back at softball. So we'll record episode 14. Like us, follow us on all platforms, subscribe to us on YouTube, and watch us. Peace.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.